Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Pit Talk Pulling Pits and Opinions with your host, Gunny G, where service members help service members, period. Follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcast and on all social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good criticism. Let's get into it. I don't get paid for this, and you don't get paid to listen. So I got a special guest, Haley, by the name of Christopher Levine. This is cute the second. Say hello to the listeners.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is retired gunner sergeant Chris Levine, or just Big Chris, whatever you want to say it. I want to say right now, it is a privilege and an honor to be on the show right now with Israel Garcia. This dude is an absolute baller. He's a stud of a Marine and just an overall great person. And I want to say I appreciate the opportunity.
Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But we got to have veterans, past or present. Congratulations on your recent retirement. Good on you, dog. Honorable service. Check box complete. You can tell by the beard, it's coming in nice.
Well, you know.
We got to get right to the meat and potatoes. I know you're busy, man. I like the sweater. I like the swag. Send me a link so I can buy some. I love small business. I appreciate small business, so I can purchase it.
Absolutely. I got you.
Hey, so Chris, man, let them know where you're from, when you came in, your couple duty stations, quick bio, quick professional bio, and then where you retired out of.
Okay, yeah, I'll go down the line. So I joined the Marine Corps in 2004, joined the delayed entry program in 2003. The reason why there's a little bit of a delay is because I had to go back to high school for another half semester due to moving from California a little bit early to Arizona. And so I had some delayed credits that I had to go make up. So they created a new program back in school, got me to the delayed entry program. And once I was done from that, I joined in October 2004. And I joined out of Phoenix, Arizona. And my first duty station was Camp Pendleton, California, HMM 268, now VMM 268 in Hawaii. And that's going to be transports for the Marine Aviation. From there, I did 3 deployments to Iraq. I know you guys don't really care about that. Maybe you do, I don't know. But I did 3 deployments to Iraq, extended for the last one that I did. And then I got orders to the drill field on the West Coast. Big West Coast, 3rd Battalion, Kilo Company in the building, baby. Let's go. From there, ended up doing 4 years there because I got extended. Right after that, I went to Japan, Iwakuni, Japan. And this is where I met this handsome young fellow right there that's on the computer. We got introduced through basketball. And from there, we created a big chat that's still going on now, which is absolutely crazy. Iwakuni Ballers, you're over there. Make sure you join the chat. I spent 3 years out there, did numerous detachments to various places. I missed Singapore, I wish I went there, but gone to Philippines, Thailand, Australia, Alaska. I know I'm missing so many right now. Okinawa. Oh, there's a couple other ones I can't think of on this spot. But yeah, so I did that while I was over there, Guam. And from Japan, I went back to Arizona, Arizona State University. My sister went to school there. And I had the privilege of becoming an AMOI, which is Assistant Marine Officer Instructor down there. Did that for 3 years. Was only able to do 1 tour of OCS due to breaking my ankle, but was finished that successfully. And for those of you guys that have ever joined the drill field or ever been on the drill field, I highly suggest you look into AMOI duty, one of the most underlooked position that there is in the military that a lot of people don't take advantage of. From there, I went back to Camp Pendleton, California, where it all started, and I went to Balboa Hospital, where I actually worked for the Wounded Warrior Battalion, and then back to Camp Pendleton again and retired from there. So I know it seems all over the place, a lot of different duty stations, a lot of different things that I did that I kind of like mixed out in between, but I'm sure we'll fill it in while we go. But yeah, I'm privileged and honored to start and stop where I started at in the military. So, and I'm blessed to meet people like you.
Hey, I appreciate it. The pleasure's all mine, Chris. In a nutshell, that's 20 years of service. But we'll weave it back. I'm a weaver, so I like to weave things back in and out, right? So we met in Iwakuni. We started off on the court, right? We didn't really know each other, but I like playing on the hips per se, hand checking. I like the hand check a lot on the hip, right?
Big facts.
Yeah, physical in nature. So if you feel my hand, it's not because I'm trying to foul you, it's because I'm pressing you hard, right? You definitely held your own with all the people out there, man. It was a good group. For a while, it was a good group.
It was.
Hell yeah, got some good game. Won some couple, some little tourneys there, here and there, a couple you stacked our team. You know what I'm saying? If we ain't winning, it's no fun. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah. Nobody likes to lose, and losers say it's all about having fun. You know what I'm saying? I like to win, so I win. But hey, shout out to your retirement. First and foremost, we want to tell your story, no matter how big or small it is. I think every service member story is big. So I want to take the time to thank you for your service. Congratulations on retirement. I know I said that earlier. And we got to get right into veteran influencers, man. I know you did that while you were on active duty for a little bit, whether it fell to the wayside or not, man. That's where we'll start, and then we'll kind of weave it right into IDO8. Hit it, dog. How did veteran influencers come about? Why did you do it? What was the backing for it?
So actually, veteran influencer started because one, I was trying to think of what is it that I wanted my brand to be, and what type of name is it already taken. And I just sat there trying to go over so many different options, and all these names are taken. I'm like, and then just one day, because every day when I was trying to learn social media, I was learning from a lot of the young guys, and I was like, you know what, I want to learn how to do this. So I would come home, I would just sit there and I would write hundreds of names and ideas and brand, concepts. And I finally came up with one, and I was like, let me search to see if anyone has this. And to my dismay, I was like, nobody has. That's crazy. Nobody has it. Now, I was active duty at the time I came up with it, but the idea behind me coming up with that name was whenever I transitioned out, I would still be able to keep the same type title. You know what I mean? It would make sense. And it didn't seem like I was still trying to, play Marine while I was already out. So I was like, okay, it's perfect for when I transition out, so I can kind of build it for a little bit. And then when I get out, I can keep that same name because I'm technically a veteran now, So as far as Instagram goes, that was the concept of it. But I actually started a YouTube channel, and I had like 100 different names for it first. And I was still learning how to do it. But I was working at Corporal's course when I was in Iwakuni, and I was trying to figure out how can I give like the physical fitness training to more people without having to repeat myself so much. Every class, I was repeating the same tips and tricks and things because I was doing a lot of calisthenics out there. I got so tired of it because the classes change over every 3 weeks. So imagine reteaching the same concept I was like, no. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to build a YouTube channel with zero expectations. I'm going to put on there all my physical workouts and tips and tricks and things that I've learned along my journey of calisthenics and learning how to do handstands and pull-ups and all that stuff. And some of the videos started to blow up. I was like, oh, this is cool. I transitioned from fitness on there because it was so hot in Arizona that my camera would just continue to overheat. And obviously, you're kind of limited to what you can do inside. All the equipment's outside or in a gym, and I hate recording in a gym too much. I'm sure you probably hate it too. But every time I would take my camera out, I would either have to go extremely early or extremely late. And even when it was late, it was still hot. So because my camera kept overheating, I was like, you know what? I need to come up with something to where I can do consistently and not worry about the weather. And then I started thinking about little comedy things that I could do that actually show truth about the military, but give like little subtle lessons as well. I mean, it's not really derogatory in nature.
I will say.
I mean, and essentially that's what veteran influencers is it's a movement. It's an idea. Oh, the last thing I will say is this. I might not say this right without sounding like I'm trying to be braggadocious or like sounding like I'm not being humble. But when I was actually doing research to see the type of niche that I wanted to be, fall under, when I came up with veteran influencers, I started thinking about interviews. I noticed that there was like nobody in that space. When I say nobody, I searched everywhere.
Good.
Yeah, so I was trying to come up with a niche, and I started looking, doing research into it when I was looking at like usernames and who's all in that space, so I can see the kind of things that they were doing, and like nobody was doing it, and it caught me off guard because I didn't really know much about social media at the time. So I started talking to people and like, bro, you have the opportunity to kind of like dive into a space that no one has really kind of dove into. And one thing I will say, yeah, I had some interviews. I don't know if I would say blow up, but I had some interviews that kind of do, some decent numbers. Then I started seeing people hit me up. Other people started doing it. And if I don't get nothing else from it, no more money or anything, I would say I had the opportunity to inspire other people to do something similar to what I was doing. So, and I've helped a lot of people along the way. So yeah, that's what I get out of veteran influence when I think of what the brand is.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then I think it kind of branched out to Ask a Vet, right?
Yep. So
and
myself and Tamara Moody. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, good. You're good.
Yeah, so myself and Tamara Moody, big shout out to T Moody, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, she is absolutely amazing, and she helped me carry this thing to create an actual, when I say a movement, I mean we had hundreds of people live at one point. It was so, like, we would leave off of our live and we would have thousands of views on the video already. Nobody was doing that. Nobody. And it's not just about the views, but it's the overall potential impact that you can create with just turning on a camera, turning on a microphone. You know, it was honestly, it was one of the best experiences that we've had. You know, we would meet up when we both lived in California together. We would do a meeting to go over the next month or the next 2 months. We would have a meeting to see what guests that we have. We had a meeting to come up with, hey, how are we going to improve for the next one or the next season or next this? It was very organized. And for those of you guys that are looking to get into podcasting or something similar to this, it is not as easy as you think it is, and it's not as easy as some people may make it seem. So I'm sure Israel makes it seem very easy when he does it because he's great, but it's not as easy. Guests flake all the time and feel guilty because I guess you could say I probably became one. It wasn't purposely, but because I'm out, I just have a million things going on. But I want to say, you know, right off the bat, I apologize because all the things I complained about guests not showing up, or 5 minutes before, when I was doing it live, like 5 minutes before we're about to go live, now they're not answering their phone. So I want to apologize in advance. I knew I was going to eventually do the podcast, but I just couldn't do it, man. But I'm here now, so I appreciate you.
Nah, Chris, man, I'll tell you what, transition is rough. And you were kind of in that little gray area where you had to transition. And no harm, no foul. And I didn't take it to the heart. I knew you're a busy man. You got family. You got another baby on the way, right? Is that right?
January 20th.
So nice. Mine's, I got number 5 on the way.
What?
Last week of February. Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? Number 5 on the way.
Oh, that's crazy.
Last week of February.
Good stuff, man.
I know. Maybe some more. I'm not sure. Whatever God has planned. Because she came out of nowhere. But yeah, I know transition is rough. You're missing shift from something to another. You got to find purpose again, and I get it. And now that you're transitioning to the civilian sector, I see you got Ideal Weight. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I actually started an Instagram channel. Man, was it maybe about 2 years? Maybe about 2 years. I may be kind of exaggerating a little bit, so forgive me. I didn't look at the date, but probably about 2 years ago. But when I sat there and I thought about that name, I was like, once again, what name can I come up with that kind of shows how I believe basketball to be? And I always looked at basketball as a dream to me because when I was not that great in high school, I really wasn't. You know, I got a late start. I started playing basketball my junior year, and I went to Paradise Valley. So when I moved from California, I moved to Arizona. I went to school my sophomore year before playing. And then my junior year, I decided to give it a shot. I just liked playing. I didn't really have much expectations, but I realized I wasn't really getting playing time because I wasn't that good. I had just started playing. That was my first time really playing organized basketball. So I learned how to actually work on my game and improve my game when I became a Marine. And the thing is, I was never able to shoot. So, I mean, regardless of what people think about my shooting ability now, I couldn't do any of that. Like I used to just hit the back of the rim. When I actually learned how to train to improve my game, that's when I knew that I could make this into something, and I've been able to play throughout the military. So that's great. Anyway, so back to it. So I knew I wanted to come back to Phoenix when I got out. And I always said that I wanted to bring basketball to my old neighborhood. So I was like, all right, how can I do that? How can I use I Dream of Hoops and do all that together? So I said, I'll create a basketball league. And most of my goals happen because I feel that I'm either not good enough to do it or I'm going to struggle a lot and there's a chance that it won't happen. I never really pick goals that I know I'm going to be able to do simply. I do things that I have a good chance at failing at if I'm not, and this is something that I hold near and dear to me because I thought that I was going to get out and just show up and go, hey, I'm here. And everybody just opened their, opened it with the open arms to me. But it didn't work like that at all. It was an extreme challenge just to find a gym. It was an extreme challenge to figure out how to do it from the paperwork side, the legal side of it. And mentally you go through a lot of stuff trying to come up with things like this. But I wear this so proudly, not that I'm trying to brag about anything, but this represents for everyone that has some type of dream or goals that you can't necessarily have a clear vision of in the beginning. But as you go along and you find yourself continuing to stay along the struggles, no matter what you're going through, but you stuck with the plan, this is the gold at the end of the rainbow. Everybody can see the rainbow, but how many people have made it to the end of the rainbow? So continue to push to the end of the rainbow. All you viewers, I promise you, I am not the smartest dude out there. I ain't the best basketball player. I ain't the strongest, whatever. But I found a way to do it. I had some people help along the way, kind of give me tips and tricks. So big shout out to my boy King. He gave me some ideas. Not only, he didn't just give me motivation. He gave me actual things that I can, actionable items. Hey, why don't you try this? And if you do this, this can happen. Who else? I mean, big shout out to the city of Phoenix. You know, it didn't work out exactly how I thought it would be with certain gyms that were here, but it's all love to you guys because you guys taught me a valuable lesson inadvertently. You taught me things aren't going to be as sweet as you think it is. And being able to make it through all the fog is what's going to make or break you, to me, as a business owner, as a company owner, and as a brand established as well. So I Dream of Hoops is more than basketball. It's more than a basketball league. It is literally people like me that didn't always have the opportunities, but you found a way to make it work.
Oh my, sound of a gun. Got me some chills, Chris. Take it easy. Take it easy.
I appreciate
you know, so you go through some adversity, man. We're gonna jump to right through adversity. It obviously sounds like transitioning, the hustle and bustle with transitioning, having a new baby here pretty soon coming up, all that insurance, even insurance and liability for the I Dream of Hoops basketball league, right? All these things play a factor. Can you say that the Marine Corps has propelled you into this new sector, a new business venture that you got going on? It prepared you well?
Hey, that's a really good question, actually, because I would say in a general sense, yes. In a general sense, it did because you need to have discipline. You got to push through. If you don't have those two, if you don't have resiliency and discipline, I think those are some of the two most important things that you can have when doing anything. Being resilient, because you're going to fall in. Can I say ass, or is that like,
dude,
no
it's your
cussing?
show. Hit it. No, you can hit it, whatever you want.
You know what I'm saying? So you're going to fall on your ass at some point. You're going to. But now it's a matter of, what are you going to do now? And if you don't have an answer for that, or your answer is just, well, you know, you're probably not going to make it, because it's not going to always be easy. What's going to end up happening is you're going to reach out to your friends. Hey, can you buy my merch? Hey, can you sub? Because I did all those things. These are all things that I did learning along the way. But you have to continue to find different ways. So if you run into a wall, you can sit there and try to chip at the wall, and, you know, or you can find a way to go around the wall and still get the point that you're trying to get across. Yeah, I think it's very important that the military did teach me that. The military definitely gave me resiliency, because I'll tell you what, they're going to give you work if you're in the military. You're going to get worked, and there's going to be times where you don't think you're going to make it. And there's times that you're like, there's no way I can do this. And you're going to get challenged. But guess what? You have no excuse in the military. They don't care. You have to do it. There's no option. And because of that, I gave myself no option. And I feel like I'm able to get as far as I had been thus far because of that.
I like that, dog. That's good. Discipline and resiliency. You can hear me, right?
Oh, yeah, I can. I think my thing froze again, but.
You're good. It'll record. Either way, it's probably mine anyways. But I'll tell you what, resiliency, you definitely build resiliency in the military. The culture is different, especially the Marine Corps. I said top tier branch, to be honest. Why not settle for less than the top tier branch? I'm going to be honest with you. Not bragging or anything. Close this. I Dream of Hoops, veteran influencers, Ask a Vet. All these things are still under your belt. What are you going to do now now that you've kind of settled into or snapped into I Dream of Hoops basketball league? I don't
know what is going on with that, but yeah. That's actually a really good question. Yeah. So one thing I never want to do is kind of, I'm trying to think of the actual saying of how it is. I never like to not burn bridges like with a person, but burn bridges as far as what I'm doing. I always find a way to go back. Like, I've taken time away from my veteran influencers channel, time away from Ask a Vet, but I always try to make my way back, or at least attempt to put out some type of content for that, specific thing. And now I'm just doing it on my own schedule. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to get likes. Not doing it because I'm trying to. I'm literally doing it because the content that I'm putting out there, it matters to me in some form or fashion. And, sometimes I get thousands, sometimes I get 100,000, sometimes I got a couple million views, sometimes I'll get 2 views. I no longer live off that. And I can honestly say I was kind of guilty of it. I think everyone always tries to gauge their success by some type of numeric metric. Whether it's views, whether it's money, time, however you look at it. And now I no longer have to do it, and I do it because I truly enjoy doing it. So to answer your question, I have notebooks of ideas of things that I want to do for all the different brands that I actually run. Right now, my main thing and the most important thing to me to push is I Dream of Hoops. So as you can see, I got the merch on. There's just a couple things that I got, but there's going to be a lot more coming. I just put out a video on my I Dream of Hoops YouTube channel about an unboxing, and I got, I just got off the phone with my clothing designer a little while ago. So we got some new mock-ups coming, and we have some new gear getting shipped. So the goal is to have at least, a couple boxes of gear before the first game. So I'm going to actually have a whole booth set up for my merch that we're going to do for I Dream of Hoops. And now we're looking to just design new stuff. So we got the logo here. I Dream of Hoops. Took me a little while to come up. I Dream of Hoops Basketball League. Took me a little while to come up with this. I threw helps to my editor as well. But now we're going to start doing some extra things to show like little details on designing clothing. So I'm excited about that. The league starts 26 January. It'll be here in Phoenix, Arizona. I think we're like one team and maybe like a pending team away from having all the teams necessary to get it started. And the love and support that I've been getting from where I live in Levine, Arizona has been absolutely incredible. So big shout out to everyone that's supported me. People bug me every day about merch. They bug me every day about the league. And when I finally told them, just the excitement from people. And I'll give you one little gem before I move on, because I know I'm kind of babbling. We do have another like 3 potential partnerships with bigger companies. And one is like an actual, like, if this happens type thing. But I don't want to say it yet because I don't want to jinx it. And I don't want people to think I'm saying it to brag. It's just, I want people to see, I know Drake said it, but starting from the bottom, I want people to see when military gets out and they start from the bottom, all the different potential that they have and where they can go. Because a lot of people don't know they can do that.
That's good, man. That's some good guys. I tell you what, hard work does pay off, dog. 20 years comes at a cost to family, to friends, to relationships, to different types of just ships in general. And it comes at a cost, but it all pays off. It pays dividends at the end. And that hard work, the discipline, resilience, it catapults you into the civilian sector and makes you a way better asset to any business, in my opinion. For that's across all the branches, collectively, generally speaking. Obviously, I'm a little biased to Marine Corps, right? Marine Corps
we all are, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, that definitely catapults you into that civilian sector. I hope it works out, man. If I can help in any way, send me the link. I'll purchase like that beanie though. That beanie's dope. I don't have the beard, bro. So it doesn't look as good on me because I don't got the beard. But yeah, man, let me know, dog. Hey, look, I'll tell you what, Chris. From 2014 to 2017, I was crossing you up, breaking your ankles a little bit here and there. You didn't have a shot then, and you still don't have a shot now in my book.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
You wild.
Hey, but I will give you that. You could touch the rim. I couldn't because I'm fat and nasty. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, keep it the hard work, man. It's gonna pay off. If I have anything to say for it, it's work hard, play hard, and everything will pay off. I'm telling you. And you're the epitome of transition, right? Because a lot of us transition and we lose purpose, we lose mission set, we lose the tasking, and we just don't know what to do anymore. And a lot of us are losing the war, right? We might win some battles here and there, but we're losing the war in terms of mental health, suicide. We got to tackle that full force, and you're transitioning well. Obviously, there's behind closed doors, I'm sure you're struggling, but in the face of adversity, you're being resilient. And I want you to provide the listeners something that's, heavy to your heart, personal in nature. What is something tangible they can use right now? They're struggling with mental health, taking the 30-inch step the wrong way, right? Provide some insight there.
There's an interesting way of, let me think how I want to attack this one. I will say this, regardless of how you feel, right? Now, I'm going to say this somewhat reluctantly because everyone has a different situations that they go in life, right? someone may have family members that just passed or, broke up with a loved one or something. So what I'm saying doesn't necessarily fit specifically for that. But one thing I will say is you're going to go through something. I don't care how smart, how connected, I don't care. You're going to go through something. And as much as I hate going through challenges that stop my everyday life, I realized those challenges actually got me to where I'm at now. I always will say like this. I always loved my basketball coach, not because I thought that he gave me the best opportunity, but because I felt like I got held to a higher standard than everyone. And because of that, I treated myself as if I should be holding myself to a higher standard than everyone. And this isn't to say I'm better than anyone. It's just, I always felt that I had to work harder than everyone else that kind of, walked in and just joined the team. And all of a sudden they're starting or something to that matter. It made me, if it wasn't for that, I would have never developed a shot. I would have never tried doing different things. I transitioned from a big man to being able to play guard. I think that takes a lot of work to do. When you don't have trainers, you're doing that on your own. It's a whole mental and a mentality change that you have to make. And I think that's the same thing with a lot of things where people experience a lot of mental health issues. It's you have to be able to look at things as logically as possible. Now, this is just how I did it. What is it that I'm actually feeling right now? Okay. Is it real? Meaning, do I have a real reason to feel like that? Not, anyone can feel however they want. I'm saying, is there something tangible that's causing me to feel this way? Like, did I lose a job? Did I run over a cat or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is there something that's actually tangible or why I'm actually feeling that way? If the answer is no, I know that I always have room to chop it away. Right. Now, I will say I don't know, does that make sense at all? Like, if there's nothing
it does.
Solid. Okay. So, and I say that because when I didn't leave the military on I don't want to say best terms because that's not true. I didn't leave it on 100% my terms, if that makes sense. And what I mean by my terms is I wasn't forced out by all means. I had a lot of people that were actually saying, why aren't you re-enlisting? Like fighting for me, coming to find me and saying, hey, you're going to re-enlist. You're not going to, no. And to me, that makes a big difference. The fact that I see that people genuinely saw me as a good Marine and a good leader, good mentor, and my higher ups fighting for me to stay in and not letting me just get out at 20. And it's not like I was at 15. It's at 20. I still had a lot of my, senior leaders that are like, no. I don't care what it is. We're going to make it happen and you're going to stay in. And, that's because I didn't necessarily, I guess I had an option to stay in. Like I thought about it in my mind, but there were some things that I just, I didn't feel right dealing with while I was in the military, I guess is the best way to say it, and, some other things as well, but it was mostly certain leadership that I was just like, no, I wouldn't do it. I'm not salty or anything, but one thing I did also say was if I don't get out now, I'm never going to mentally transition. Like, I don't really talk about the military now that I'm transitioned. Every once in a while, a story will come out, but then I catch myself and I'm almost mad that I talk about it because when you don't put that to the wayside, it just makes your transition a lot harder to do mentally. And a lot of those things kind of end up in a mental health type situation, right? Because the more you're relying on the military for your content, the military for your pay, the military for how, to tell you when to go to medical or to tell you to do these things, the longer you hold on to it, even though mentally it's time for you to get out, I believe that you're going to struggle a lot longer than somebody that says, you know what, I'm going to just cut this cord because I know that it's going to be better for me in the long run to transition out. Look at me. I still look young. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got no wrinkle. You know what I'm saying? Your boy's looking clean. You know what I'm saying? Still got them guns. You know what I'm saying? So, and I always wanted to do that, especially having a kid on the way. I want to be able to, still kind of play with him. And I got a new dog and I want to be able to move. I can still play basketball now. I felt like if I would have stayed any longer, like a lot of these injuries that were coming up, it just wasn't going to be good for me long term. So.
That's good. I talk to a lot of service members that transition out, that retire. You can hear me, right?
Yeah. It's just mine. Can you hear me?
You're good. I talk to a lot of them, and the same thing. You got to have an exit plan. You entered, and you have to have an exit plan. Whether you stay in 4, 8, 10, 12, 20, 30, you always have to have an exit plan. The uniform will come off eventually. And that's where you're at. You knew the uniform was going to come off eventually, and it was time to cut it off. And, as much as I want to say be proud of your service, I'm sure you are, but in order for you to
Facts.
properly transition and have a good mental state for not only yourself and your family, you have to cut it off. That's good. It's like cutting cold turkey and addiction. And I would venture to say that the military or the Marine Corps, not other services, but the Marine Corps for sure is an addiction. It's a toxic, beneficial, unbeneficial relationship. And my goodness.
Can you hear me? Okay.
And it's a toxic, beneficial, unbeneficial, all things under the sun relationship. And for you, it seems like if I cut it off now, I'll be good. And you look healthy. I mean, it's said that you lose 20 pounds of stress once you
20?
transition out. I'm sure. Wow. That's factual. I can't wait to lose 25 pounds.
Well, I mean, the way I did it was not, I don't know how much you want to go into this lane, but if I had to diagnose myself, which obviously I'm not medical, I ended up getting I don't know if it was necessarily an eating disorder, but it was just, I had a lot of medical issues that didn't really allow me to eat. And my stomach was just bothered every time. So I went, some days I didn't eat, some days I ate very little. And right now it's like I can only eat at night at in a certain window.
You know what? I'm going to stop you right there. That's called trauma from the depot, to be honest with you. So that's the same thing, dog. I asked any drum sucker that got work. You didn't eat all day, and all the calories came in at night. And you know this, and you're still drinking energy drinks. Come on now.
Hey, I went 12 years of quitting. I went 12 years. I just recently started drinking energy drinks again.
But you at ease, I'm telling you. It's that trauma release. I'm with you, dog. I freaking drink in the morning, a coffee or some, energy drink, mainly coffee. And
right.
then I don't have time, or I do have time. I just don't make time
Right.
to eat. And then I come home and dinner's made, and that's when I eat. And I try to not to blow up on a table of a bunch of food. It's still the same thing, man. I'm with you. If you were worked in a depot, I'm not saying anybody wasn't work. It's hard work, period. But
Right.
if you were putting in that time, that's the effect. No harm, no foul. It's a VA claim, dog. We're good.
Well, I mean, so, and I just want to touch on this part because, I went to the depot in 2010. So before I came to you, I was already a drone soldier. So if it does have anything to do with it, I believe it's very, it's a small part of it. It's more so of everything that compiles all at once, all the answers of unknown, and your brain, to me, plays a part in how your stomach works. So, it's you ever hear someone saying, like, while you're eating, hey, don't talk to me about someone taking a crap or something like that. I was like, I don't want to think about that when I'm eating. I think that certain things actually from my mind started playing, for my stomach, and then it just made it difficult. My stomach became overly acidic to where it was just like, it would bother me to eat. And I'm still kind of dealing with that right now. So I'm, sort of gaining weight again and all that stuff. But, yeah, it definitely played a kind of, a part in my everyday life. So I will say,
it to me right now. You're doing it to me right now. Making me nauseous in the stomach.
Slaying you? I'm sorry, man.
You're good,
No,
dog. Hey,
I wasn't
look,
trying to do
it
that.
happens. No, you're good, dog. Hey, look, man, I'll tell you what. If it didn't help, now it helps. Transition is good. You look like transitioning well. You look healthy, man. The beard looks great. Keep it growing. Look like Rick Ross. You know what I mean? Look.
He meant Denzel Washington, but I'm gonna let that slide. I'm just like,
look, man, I appreciate your time, dog. You're doing well. You're doing well. I just want to tell your story, and I appreciate you taking the time to tell your story to others. Mental health, resilience, adversity, 20 years of active duty service. You got a baby on the way. Everything happens for a purpose. Everything happens for a reason, and it's not for us to figure out. It's just for us to let the cards play. And if you're tuning in now and you talk about mental health and giving back to the community, cut it off, right? If it's time to go, it's time to go, and transition well, transition honorably, but don't just drag it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, take Chris's advice. it is what it is. When it's time to go, it's time to go. And
Yeah. If I could say one more thing about to kind of tie on to how my brand came about, how it was. So when I was in Japan, what I started doing was I was a staff NCO and I started listening a lot more. And, I always felt like I knew a lot. And I would always be like, hey, let me tell you all the things I know. Let me tell you all the things I know. Then when I was in Japan, I got around a lot of senior leaders and I just started absorbing a lot of things. And I was like, you know what? What does this information mean? And like, how can I actually use it to, how can I dissect this information to give something back? So what I started doing was before I started doing interviews, I actually started speaking to a lot of senior leaders and I would do like, I guess you could say some form of an interview. And I would ask them a lot of tough questions about transitioning out. And what I found is a lot of our senior leaders are not prepared to get out. They're not mentally prepared to get out. They're not, and I'm talking Sergeant Major, Master Guns, 05, Lieutenant Colonel. Oh, yeah. I've spoken to all of them. I've had majors come up to me, tell me their story, and especially when they knew I was retiring, I think a lot more people started opening, like a lot of officers started opening up and telling me things about almost like they're not jealous that I'm getting out, but just tell me about their story. And one thing I noticed is, like I said, a lot of people aren't as prepared as they would like to be, and they're not where they thought they would be when they got to their 25-year mark. I mean, I'm talking like Sergeant Majors at 28 years telling me I'm not where I want to be. This happened, so I'm not financially. I end up getting a divorce, so now I'm going to be able, I'm staying in because I would be broke if I got out right now. I told myself, absolutely not. So what I started doing was providing a platform so people can hear these stories that I'm getting by just talking to people and allowing them to be able to use and dissect that information for their own life. And however they use that information and however it plays out into their life, it's on them. But at least I'm providing that information. And I think it's very important. All right. That's why I say when you know it's time to get out, all right, maybe 2 more years, maybe a year, but like don't keep postponing the inevitable, because what's going to end up happening is you start to resent, you start to get tired of, and you start to not give as much effort towards your Marines. And when that starts to happen, you got to go because you're holding up a spot. It's like someone on a basketball team. Like you got 4 good players, but you got a bum. And that bum is going to ruin your entire team and your entire chances of winning that championship. It's just how it is, right? So I didn't want to be that bum that's on this superstar all-star team. And then people start to look at me differently than when they saw when I was highly energetic, highly enthusiastic, and highly motivated to be a Marine,
And that's good. That's good. Hey, look, for those dinosaurs that are still in, it was time to get out, man. Stop holding the phone. I'm trying to get promoted. Hey, look, Chris,
talk your man.
Thank you for your time. I thank you for your service. You deserve it. If you need anything from me, you got my digits, man. You're in my electronic Rolodex. And shoot me a link, man, for real. I'm trying to buy a beanie, at least a beanie, because it's cold out here in Washington.
Hey, say less, man. I'm gonna definitely get you a link.
Absolutely, man. Hey, if you need anything from me, let me know. If I can help in any way, tangible way, let me know. I'm all about supporting small business, supporting my brothers and sisters in arms, past or present. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pit Talk, pulling pits and opinions with your host, Gunny G and Chris Levine. This second, follow, like, subscribe everywhere you get your podcast and on all social media platforms. Let us know how we're doing. Any criticism is good criticism, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out. Chris is out. Any last words?
Yeah. Big shout out to my boy Israel. What he's doing right now, I got to live vicariously through. He is wearing the uniform. He's giving the motivation. Listen, these things were not around when I joined in 2004. I really need people to focus, military people to focus. You are getting firsthand answers from those that have actually done it and those that are actually doing it. Take advantage of that. Like, think about any other job. How many jobs have a podcast that literally tell you about things that you're going to endure while you're in, tell you how to get over those challenges, and tell you what you can do differently next time? It's not there. So not only that, right, but people that do these podcasts, right, we pay for microphones, we pay for cameras, we pay for computers, we pay for internet, office. All these things are time, right? Israel's still in the military. So he is taking time out of his day on an actual work day to do these things. If you care about your brother, you care about your sister, support this man. He is literally giving you like timeless information that you're not going to get from too many other spots, right? Anything can happen. The internet might crash. in 2 months. YouTube may crash to where you can't add any other videos. Anything could happen in any other time. And this man right now is going to have these videos on the internet to give you guys jewels and advice from himself and different guests. So much appreciation and love to you, Israel. Thanks for the love, brother.
Hey, Chris, ladies and gentlemen, we out.
Is a podcast featuring active service members who discuss their thoughts and opinions on various issues surrounding military life, current events, and history. The statements heard here are the opinions of its members and guests. These do not necessarily reflect the views of the Department of Defense and are not endorsed or sponsored in any way. Listener, viewer discretion advised.